Hello and welcome to my fourth vlog video. Today we'll talk about trust, courage, social dreaming, matrix and traveling plans. Woohoo! Let's go! My name is Elena Muratova. I'm an Olympian, best-selling author and happy body coach. Last week, for the first time, I attended Social Dreaming Matrix. Probably you wonder, what the heck is it? I kind of did the same because I wasn't sure what exactly it meant, but it's a very interesting group of people, very interesting experience, I may say. It's type of psychological exploration of dreams. I don't know, maybe you're familiar with Freud's ideas of about analyzing dreams. So it's kind of similar to analyzing dreams, but still a little bit different. Instead of focusing on personal meaning, personal experience of the dream, you in a group of people share your dreams and try to see the social context in your dreams, and just by giving free association, people help to see different meaning of your dream. So I just decided to try that and I enjoyed it. I'm not quite sure if I want to continue for many other sessions because that particular experience and also educational part lasts for 1 year. So we meet every month, once a month, for a few hours and just talk about what we experience in our dreams, and there is different exercises to do in between. So far I still trying to understand how much I like it, but it was interesting experience just to hear other people's dreams, because it's not something that we usually do. I don't think I often share my dreams with strangers. So it was great to share some of my dreams and also hear other people's dreams and see how this free association brought some similar experiences together. And if you want to learn something more about Social Dreaming Matrix, you can check the link below this video and just maybe leave a comment below, and I will talk about this a little bit more. I just simply find dreams so fascinating. Me personally, I see dreams every night, and sometimes I remember a big chunk of it and sometimes not, but they're usually very vivid and sometimes very strange. I just wonder how my mind can create all these stories while I'm sleeping. It's so fascinating. So I just like to explore my dreams, and as I said, if you want some more information, I can talk about it a little bit longer. But today I want to focus more on my other experiences I had last week, because I participated in 2 full days of existential analysis training. You probably know already that I'm taking that long-term training. It's maximum like 7 years of training, but we'll see if I go so far. At least it is 3 years for basic certificate. So we had this 2 days full day training by Zoom, of course, because of all the social distancing. I was supposed to go to Vancouver for 1 week, probably because we were going to have first Canadian conferences, but it was cancelled, unfortunately, because of the COVID-19, and we were able to have at least 2 days by Zoom, and I really enjoyed it. It was great. It worked very well, and the topic was so great. It's something that I needed to explore in myself, and the topic resonated with me a lot, and it was about trust. And trust to the world and self-trust, and we just, I just was immersed in those topics for 2 days. It was great to think about that and answer all very deep questions. Some of them I put in the comments below, so check it out in the description as well, because I think it's great questions to wonder. And what I was touched by is that I don't have a lot of trust in my body. So I discovered it, and now I'm kind of working through this, trying to understand what is the reason and how I can deal with this. But in general, to learn that trust, it's a personal decision. So it's basically when I decide to trust somebody or something, and basically it's a personal decision to hand myself over to somebody's hand or to a situation, even transcending the perceived risks that I can see or perceive. And I don't know, it was interesting for me to realize that it's actually my decision, or it's a personal decision and not something that just randomly happens to you. It's like you decide if you want to trust, if you have enough courage to trust some person or situation. It's interesting concept, at least I find it in this way. And of course, we can't just blindly trust to somebody. We need to check, we need to test that other person or situation. And we did that falling exercise or trust exercise that you probably tried before, because it's pretty common in different areas, not only in psychology. When you stand facing opposite direction from the person and somebody is behind you, and then you fall and another person catch you, and we're supposed to do it a few times, kind of repeat it. And at first I had nobody to try it because my husband was busy, so I did it just sitting on the bed, arranging the pillows behind me and just falling there. But it was still uncomfortable. I wanted to check and see if I arranged everything. So I did it a few times, and then we shared this experience in the group. And in the evening, when my husband was available, I tried it with him, and with him it was totally different experience. I couldn't fall, even though I know that he's strong and totally capable of catching me. I couldn't do it properly. I just did that step back and kind of bent my knee, and yeah, it was scary. I couldn't trust at first. And then second time I did it, it was easier to do, and I think I did it 2 more times. So the third and fourth time, I actually felt I enjoyed that stage of falling, that phase of falling, when you just trust, like when I made that decision and I trusted and I just could relax and enjoy that moment. It was interesting and I really enjoyed it. And basically it just represents how trust works, that you can build trust, of course, like you can test a person, not specifically that you create specific tests, but you just see if you can trust, even though there are maybe some perceived risk, but yeah, probably there is some support on another end. I can trust that structure on that person or that environment. It's not like you just trust anybody and anything totally blindly. No, of course, like you can kind of check it at first, but you build your trust. And with every time, I felt more relaxed and I could enjoy more. And it's actually not something that I experienced a lot in my life, that feeling of trusting, and that brings that enjoyment and excitement and that just relaxation. So hopefully I will be able now to implement that in other areas of my life, because it's a nice feeling just to trust a little bit more in general. Yeah, and we were talking that there are actually 3 types of trust. It's a self-trust, when you trust yourself, and it's a fundamental trust, that when you trust in general the world, like that, for example, everything will be okay. And the third one is a basic trust. So it's a relational trust, when you trust another people and can form trusting relationship with others. And for having trust, of course, you need courage. And even if trust in general, it's decision, it's more like cognitive, that courage that you need to be able to make that decision is more like a feeling, more something inside me, that like I have this courage, I have this ability, this skills to like to trust. And if you're talking about courage, that of course with courage you can go to, you can have too little courage or too much courage. In both ways is not good. Like when you have too little courage, it can lead to like melancholic or depressive state. Or when you have too much courage, it's more like you can be too reckless, too like heroic. And with courage also we can perceive some humility. It's like, as I understood, it's another side of the medal, of the coin. And it made me think about the story I recently heard. I don't know if it's a true story or not, but it just, even if it's not true, it's still great explanation of how courage and humility works together to make life more fulfilling and make you more flexible. So the story is about the man who was a psychologist, and he went to the World War. He participated there, and for his courage, he got a medal, but he didn't want to get that medal. He refused it, and somebody in a higher rank asked him why, because they were so surprised why somebody didn't want to get a medal for courage. And he said that he noticed that many people, many soldiers who got that medal for the courage, they died very soon after getting that medal. And he added that I don't want to be stuck in this limits, in terms that I don't want to be labeled as a hero and don't have that flexibility to make different choices. Because if you have this medal, you already like carry this expectation from others on yourself. And this story very resonated with me, because I think this like humility, in the sense that he didn't want to be too courageous and follow that path. And I think this story is so great because it shows how like his humility, in the ways that he didn't want to follow that limiting label of hero and be too courageous. He just wanted to like have more flexibility. It just helped him to survive. And it resonated with me because I think I have this label of the hero in some ways, that if I did something, if I was courageous enough to do something, I can't have a fear next time. I kind of need to go through this again. And it's very limited belief. And it just was a relief to learn that, yeah, if you have courage, if like you don't need to follow that path every way. Like it's all depends on the situation. This humility gives you flexibility to choose your actions at the next, like during the next situation. And another thought that was very cool to learn is that courage goes hand by hand with fear. So like you can still have fear, but you can have enough courage to do something. So it's not like courageous people that do not have fear. They probably do, but they still have a little bit more courage to go through something, to act in certain ways. So I just wonder, what is your relationship with courage, humility, and trust in different areas of your life? If you want to share, please leave a comment below the video or ask me any questions. And last, or maybe not the last, but also another topic that I wanted to cover today is that I saw that post at social media, at Russian social media. It's very similar to Facebook. One woman I know, she posted that, it's like a young woman, she posted a video of her inviting her athletes to her apartment. She's a coach, and even though there is a state of emergency and self-isolation in that region of Russia, in my native town, she still invited her athletes to her place just to have like a tea and just, have some fun. I think her athletes, they are around like 10, 11 years old, something like that. So it's just kind of to have that social gathering. But I was so shocked because like it's totally prohibited to do, but not even though it's prohibited, it's just not logical. It's not reasonable at any point to invite a lot of kids from different families and like be together for a few hours, and the risk of spreading the virus is so high because they go to their excuse me, because they go then to their families, and like especially with kids, they can have no symptoms of any virus. So like I don't know, it was so no good to organize that event, but also shared it on the social media. But what I was angry at is that nobody commented negatively to her, negatively in the way like the comments below that post had positive message like, yeah, good for you. And I decided to make my comment not rude, just to say that I'm not agree with your actions, and I needed some courage to do that, I think. So fortunately, I was able to write that post, but it disappeared shortly after I wrote it. So then I realized that probably not everybody left positive feedback. Maybe some people, they left some critique, but she was able to delete it right away. So it was interesting experience to see how different people react to critique and how they can't accept their wrongdoing, or just, I don't know, or just even like how some people, they don't think about others in that time. I just wanted to share with you. Maybe you experienced something like this during this time. If you want to share, again, please, I welcome any comments. And talking about the virus and all the situation, I'm pretty looking forward to next month, probably, when all the restriction is a little bit less, and hopefully we will be able to travel a little bit around at least our island, because we had to cancel our flight to Russia. We were planning a long vacation, visiting my family in Russia, but now it's all cancelled. And I really want to get out of like our place and our town and travel a little bit, just to restore my emotional state and my mind and just get more new experiences. So hopefully we'll be able to do it. But also we just were planning our travel plans for the future. At some point, hopefully everything will be settled down and we will able to travel as usual again. And it's interesting, like we want to travel in Europe. Like I really like Austria and Switzerland. I want to travel there as a tourist, because before I just visited that countries as an athlete and didn't have chance to explore a lot. So we were planning that like round trip in Europe, maybe just taking a car and just driving through from one country to another country. And then we want to visit South America, Latin America, to travel there. It's of course very different from Europe, but it's also a cool experience. And I don't want to talk a lot about this, like traveling, because it's probably topic for another video. Just share, like, where do you want to travel when all this self-isolation will be finished? And I will be with you next week again. So subscribe to my channel if you want to get new notifications. And there are also exercises coming, like physical exercising to help you to keep your physical state in a good condition. Give like to this video. Any comments, welcome, and see you soon. Thank you. Bye.